Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Just Fish Outdoors podcast. In this week's show, we'll be providing tips for fishing the early fall transition for bass. You know, it's getting to be that magical time of year, folks, when changes are happening and the temperature isn't the only change. As summer gives way to cooler fall days, there are changes in the bass's behavior as well. If you fish the same waters you did during the summer heat and are using the same techniques, chances are you're not having much success. So where you should concentrate your efforts and what tactics you should apply, let me throw out some of my tips for improving your bass fishing success during the summer to fall transition period. When to start changing your strategy, it's time to switch from summer patterns to fall patterns when the days start to shorten. The water temps will be high, but the shorter duration of daylight always corresponds with fall patterns. On most lakes in my area, in my region, a good time to start changing to fall tactics is late September to early October. That's when the water temps begin to cool and bass migrate from their deeper summer haunts to much shallower water. Where you find them? Well, there are two primary patterns that I use during late summer and early fall. Bass on the main body of a lake will suspend and school around shad near long points, humps, and breaks. The depth of these suspended schools will be relative to the water color. Typically, what you see, the clearer the water, the deeper the schools of bait and bass will suspend. Good numbers of bass can also be found towards the backs of major feeder creeks at this time of year, because that's where the shad migrate to, and the bass are going to follow the buffet line, folks. So keep that in mind. You know, concentrate on stained water near the creeks and depths of 1 to 4 feet. That's where the threadfin and gizzard shad tend to bunch up. What to throw? Well, some of my bait choices, I like bladed swim jigs to entice bass during the summer and fall transition. The bass are usually very aggressive. All of their habits and movements are based around pursuing bait fish. So I suggest working a chatterbait with a fast, erratic retrieve. That's not to say that that's the only technique that works in every situation. If it doesn't produce, experiment with different shad imitating lures like spinner baits, tube lures in shad colors, and even fluke type baits can also be very effective for sluggish bass this time of year. Remember, folks, you want to focus on the bait. For bass, it's all about chasing schools of bait during this period and eating, all the time, and bulking up for that fall and cool water transition that they endure during the winter time. And since bait fish are constantly moving, you'll need to cover a lot of water to find the bass. Don't waste your time working in areas without some sign of bait fish. If you don't see them ticking the top of the water, or you're not seeing them on your electronics, if the shad aren't around, your chances of producing bites are significantly reduced. That will about do it for this week's Just Fish Outdoors podcast. We hope you have enjoyed our tips this week and that you have a chance to get out on the water and to enjoy this great weather. Remember, this is my favorite time of year to be on the water, folks, and the best bite is just around the corner and yet to come. So join us next week as we throw out another Just Fish Outdoors podcast edition. Drop us a line if you have a suggestion for a show or a question we can help you with. The email address is justfish@justfish.com. And remember, folks, that's with a JST. So we hope you join us next week for another edition of Just Fish Outdoors. Once again, you can see us on our Facebook page, Instagram, we're everywhere, as well as Apple Podcasts and a lot of other places. So we hope you come back and visit with us. And if there's anything we can help with, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We help a lot of people, give out a lot of tips, and we're just happy to do it. So once again, this is Dale York for Just Fish Outdoors saying we'll catch you later.